How's it going, everyone? Got a little bit of a different of a showcase for you today. This showcase is all things pretty much racing, drag racing, street racing, and so forth. Had a bunch of new people joined who is big into the car racing things, and they have added a bunch of cars and different race tracks and stuff like that. And we're looking at adding some more. I'll go to this active thread. I found this drift track the other day. We're kind of talking about it. We'll probably end up getting it. And we also got a racetrack. You'll see it in this video. So I don't know anything about the tuning laptop and all that stuff. So these guys are going to be more explaining it and showing it off. Creators are at 12. Just small little bit of an increase since the last video. Not a whole lot has happened here recently with that. But regardless, let's get into this video and hope you enjoy it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over is the tuning laptop, which only the people with the tuning job is able to get this laptop and use it. So you have to find someone in the server who has the job and can tune your vehicles for you. And we do this because of how powerful this laptop can be, and we'll kind of see that as we go over it. So we'll use the laptop, and Charles here will kind of also explain, you know, what he kind of knows about this, and we'll go over different things with it. So Charles, take it over.
Senor. What exactly? So,
And when you first open up, you have all these different categories and all that stuff, you know. What's... Because I have no idea what any of this stuff is.
so traction curve max and minimum is essentially, well, it's your basic traction. If you turn it all the way up, you're gonna grip really well and just scoot incredibly quickly. This traction bias front means which wheel gets more traction. The lower the number, the farther back. So if you set it to a minimum, which is 0.325, essentially most of your power is going to your rear wheels, and that's where all your traction is going to hook. So for drag racing, we put it as far back as possible. For drifting, you would want it near mid to a little bit front biased, and for like circuit racing, you want it pretty much dead mid. Let's see. So that is the traction, low speed traction loss multiplier. Pretty much what it says, how much speed or how much traction you lose at low speed. Drag racing, you set it to 0. I guess in like circuit racing, you'd probably wouldn't necessarily want it 0, but fairly close for a daily driver, you'd want to leave it stock. So if you go over to power, initial drive force is essentially, it's directly just horsepower. So at 3.0, you're at 3,000 horsepower. At 0.1, you're at 100 horsepower. And for certain vehicles, we limit it to what's realistic. For like daily drivers, you're not going to see anything above like 700 really. For like street cars that are actually drag cars with street cars, probably like 1200. Drive inertia is essentially how quickly your engine builds up RPM, and the higher the number, the quicker it revs up. The lower the number, the slower it is. Clutch change rate scale, upshift and downshift is how quickly your car shifts.
Okay.
So if you down this as low as you possibly can, it'll almost mimic like your car has a slipping transmission or it has a problem shifting, where you'll go up to the point where it shifts and then you'll drop RPM and it just bogs out. It's kind of fun to play with if you want to RP having a wrecked car.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, you know, that's kind of interesting that it does that. Don't really understand the purpose of it, but I can see it now for that purpose.
Yeah, if you set it as high as you possibly can, it'll shift like a snap of a finger. If you set it as low as it can, you know, if you want to RP having a, you know, slipping transmission or something, it's
okay.
Or
that's what that's
an
there
old
for.
beater car.
Yeah. So initial drag coefficient is essentially your aerodynamic resistance. Is the lower the number, essentially the higher top speed you're going to get when you're, you know, driving at full speed. The higher the number,
Yeah.
it'd be like driving a fucking RV or something. You're going to have a higher number. You're not going to be cutting through the air like you would in a Trans Am or a Lamborghini or something that's aerodynamic. Initial drive max flat vel, I don't know what the vel, I think velocity, is essentially your gearing and how quickly you shift. It does not change how many gears you have. It only changes essentially your gear ratio.
Okay.
So it also doesn't dictate your top speed as much. Like if you don't have enough power to get up to 200 miles an hour, changing that number is not going to do much. However, if you have a car that can easily get up to that power, or has the power to get up to 200, but your gearing is set too short, it will like kind of limit you there.
That's how they get the electric cars to have that cutoff. The factory tune is a very low drive max. Makes it realistic for that car.
Yeah.
Alright.
So in brakes, brake force is literally just how much brakes you have. It's pretty simple. Locking up your brakes and, you know, having non-ABS kind of brakes isn't really a thing in this game, so. But, brake bias front, again, that's how much braking is going towards the front compared to how much braking is going towards the rear. If you wanted to, in like a drift car, you could set this towards, or so the brakes are a little bit farther back, so that it almost mimics like a handbrake, except you can still slow yourself down with it. Steering lock is how much your wheels turn when you go to full lock. So for drag cars, you'd probably want this pretty low. For drift cars, you want this as high as possible because you want as much steering lock so you can hold as much angle as possible.
Right.
For dailies, I suppose if some cars have problems with understeer, you can add a little bit of steering lock to them and it helps them out quite a bit.
Definitely fix some cars that come way too low on that for no reason.
Yeah,
Bump
like my
that
Street
up
Glide.
and then you can actually turn them. No
Yeah,
problem.
the motorcycles had a big problem with the whole steering lock.
Yeah, his SRT8. Actually, that was a Trailhawk Jeep you have, right?
Yeah, that Trackhawk.
Yeah, so
had,
on
like,
his car,
no
it was
turning
super.
radius.
Yeah, it was super low, and it would understeer all over the place, so I had to pump it up for him, and it does pretty well now.
Yeah.
So over in suspension force is how stiff your main suspension is. However, compression dampening is essentially also how stiff your suspension is.
Yeah,
You'll
how
notice that your
fast it can
car
move it.
squats a lot more when you soften that up. Anti-roll bar force, same thing. It's side to side how stiff your car is, how much body roll you have.
So is that what caused cars like to just flip as you're trying to turn? If that's...
It is it's that suspension force and traction. Those
Okay.
are usually those are the ones that are causing them to roll. Most
Yeah,
cars that I fix the roll on, it's almost always those three. They just need to be turned down or sometimes turned up. Anti-roll bar force, it seems like that turning it up a little bit helps with rolling. And then bias front, anti-roll bar bias front is, you know, how much how stiff it is in the front and the rear. You can adjust that. I don't mess with that too much. It would be really important with a drift car because you want as much roll in the front, and you know you still want to stiffen up your rear, but it helps with turning and such like that. Suspension upper limit and lower limit is essentially how far your car can squat before it starts to like bottom out and be kind of buggy. A lot of drag cars have problems with these once they start to squat quite a bit because we we soften up the suspension, they start to bounce around, so we have to adjust that. That was something that was kind of bothering us for a while. Roll center, height, front and rear is essentially the weight distribution of your car front and back. Usually when you change this, when you change the rear, it also changes the front. And as soon as you change the front, it'll change it to what the rear is as well. So they kind of go in tandem. When we get cars, like when you first touch them, they're separated. But as soon as you adjust them, they'll both go straight to whatever the rear is. So you have to adjust the rear.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, there's a lot you can do with this laptop. Like I said earlier, that's kind of why it's locked to, for certain people, whatnot, that way until you will get,
it's really
certified to be able to use it,
Yeah, it's really easy just to turn up the power and the traction and adjust a couple of things and have essentially a stock car easily outrun anybody. I gave you guys a little demonstration of that the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta keep it realistic.
Guess we can do
so.
Also making sure all the vehicles are perfect from the get-go.
Yeah, trying to tune out all the faults that come with these new mods and such.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the only thing I didn't go over is rebound dampening. That it's just how stiff your car rebounds when it compresses. A suspension raise is literally how high your car is. If you want, you can raise your car. With this, most cars come at 0. If it's higher, you can lower it a little bit. And because at the moment we're limited, so we can't go into negatives on that one yet. We have to configure this laptop a little bit more.
Yeah, we got to go over that and get more.
Yeah. So eventually we will be able to lower and raise cars, and it'll keep stock height, or it'll keep that height. Whereas with the airlift, as soon as you get out of your car and run like 10 feet, it resets it. And then suspension bias front. I can't remember what that one does.
Well, somebody probably knows.
It seems like it's not a huge difference. You can see how small the range is, but it was essentially making, if you have stiff suspension, you can take some of the stiffness away from the front or the back, vice versa. I haven't found too much of a use for it yet, but play with it somewhere.
Yeah, there's some cars that just have super wonky suspensions where as soon as you turn, it'll fucking spin around.
That truck that kept spinning around, yeah, you can adjust more towards the back and kind of help that. But
yeah, Taka's trying to save gas by turning off his engine until we're done talking. And then obviously you can save presets here. I have a whole bunch. Just different drag cars and cars I've been tuning for other people. We can also share tunes between other tuners. That way, if you, since we are also tuning customers' cars and their daily cars, if somebody goes to me and they get their tune, I can then share it with somebody else so they can get their car tuned by them as well, and they can build off of what I tuned for. So that's also pretty useful.
Alright.
Alright. But yeah, so you wanna...
Yeah, I'm working on getting the camera attached right now.
Do you want to try to get your car tuned out so we can do a side-by-side of, what a tuned car versus a non-tuned car can do?
Should we do a non-tuned run first?
Well, I figured my car would be the non-tuned. Mine would be stock.
Well, yeah, I know, but should we do a control run where we both are untuned?
I mean,
and show what they do, how they're actually similar and one's not.
I mean, that's fine, yeah.
Or we could just go straight to let me tune it a little bit.
I was gonna let you tune for a little bit, then we'd go, hey, this is exactly how you buy it from the factory. It's gonna spin a little bit. You know, it's not gonna be set up fully for drag racing like, you know, a normal drag car is. You have to spend time to, you know, tune it.
Yeah.
And then we would,
I mean, I can record myself doing a little bit of a tuning session on this if you want.
yeah,
And then
that's
I can
fine.
send you that footage, Punisher.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. So here, let me start. Whoop. Let me start mine real quick.
Just go down the other road for return.
Oh, you mean the other lane?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. So you
Alright.
do you.
So I'm gonna pull up my draggy so we can see my progress, and I'm misspelling everything. Let's see what this is running. I'm mostly going to be paying attention to... Wow, that's god-awful. So I'm mostly paying attention to 0 to 60. That's kind of how we gauge cars at the moment. 0 to 60 and 1,000 foot I let out off before the 1,000 foot. But it's not really all that prevalent at the moment, or useful. So, small tire cars we limit to 1.3 traction, and we limit to 2,000 horsepower. Whoop, that's not right. There we go. And so, at the moment, our upshift and downshift are at 20. Our max is 9, so I'm not going to change that because that's better than what we can configure for at the moment. I'm going to put the power a little bit closer back. Let's see. So suspension is at 0, which is, or not suspension, compression is at 0. That's pretty good. Once we start to kind of put more power and grip into it, it's probably going to start to bottom out and have problems, so we're probably going to have to stiffen that up. Then weight transfer looks fairly good at the moment. Let's see how this does. Okay, giant wheel stand. So we are going to, let's zero this out. Try to put weight towards the front. And we might hit that wall. Alright, so already we're at a 1.5. For a small tire, that's pretty fucking good. I don't have an accurate 1,000 foot. Usually our cars do pretty good at for a small tire car. We know it's doing pretty good when it's 0 to 60 is 1.6 to 1.5. Then 1,000 foot is usually 6.0 or lower. So let's see what it does on a full pull. Stop scoffing, alright?
We were having a conversation outside.
Ooh, she getting this thing's pretty fucking quick. So my 0 to 60 at the moment is 15:13. For a small tire, that's pretty fucking killer. And 1,000 foot is 5.9. So that's essentially how that drag tuning works. Alright, you want to do the race?
Yeah. Do you want to film it from my car so you can see how much faster the regular
Oh, I can
tuned-
see both cars.
Okay.
Oop, you want to come flag, Cody?
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on.
I'll flick my light. When we're ready, we'll flick lights.
Oop. This thing is pretty goddamn quick, honestly.
Yeah, he said 5.9 and 1,000 foot.
Yeah, for a small tire, that's
ridiculous.
And the best part about all this stuff is, as we keep going, we can find out which cars are performing better, and we can limit specific cars so it's not an unfair advantage.
yeah.
See, like with nitrous tuning, you can't put, you know, the full amount of horsepower and then throw the nitrous on because it doesn't add the nitrous while you're doing it.
Yeah.
So certain vehicles are going to have limits, other things are going to be, you know, regulated as we keep going.
I think this actually might be a nitrous car. I haven't looked actually like under the hood yet, but yeah, seems like it is because nitrous was the meta.
Yep,
I can't tell from here.
There's definitely a lot of extra stuff going on under
Yeah.
the hood there.
So before nitrous was the meta because people, you know, used to figure out, oh, this adds a shit ton of power. We're not gonna like detune our car anymore.
Yeah, you can have 1,700 horsepower, then you spray, and you know you're working.
I have 3,000 or more.
Yeah, you're working up with the big tire cars.
All right. Is there anything in particular we should do yet?
I mean, I don't have anything. I mean, this is mostly your guys' show. I mean, you guys are the racers, you guys.
I mean, we could show how, like, I mean, fuck, we could throw a couple, or pull in a couple of, like, fairly close race cars. Like, you can go get your 87 or your Malibu, and we can run them together and show, like, an actual race. It's a lot more exciting than seeing
Two cars get one absolutely whacks the other one.
Yeah.
And then we can show them the areas around the racetrack where, you know, like the bennies and all the other stuff, to where I guess they wouldn't be able to, they won't need that because they wouldn't be able to tune it.
Well, I mean, they can use the bennies to fix their car. Anyone's able to use those shops.
But at some point, are we going to...
Well, yeah, that's when mechanics come in. So, I mean, there'll be mechanics on this island that can, you know, take care of, you know, the car's needs and stuff.
And any mechanic would be able to do that, right, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much power does that car make?
This one right now is at 2,000.
2,008.
So do you want to do by the rules 900, limited to 900, and we both spray, or do you want to do just all motor and no spray?
I figured we just do all motor, no spray. I'm at 1,700 power, 1.3 traction.
Yeah, I'm at 1.3 traction.
Okay.
I'm sure you heard me.
I was...
I mean, nitrous does look kind of cool, so I could go grab my 87.
I mean, we can bump them down to 900. You know, it's not gonna matter because we're just showcasing.
Yeah. But I was thinking the nitrous looks kind of cool, so that might,
I have a
entice
couple
some
bottles
people.
if you want.
Oh, I have 10 on me.
Okay.
So do you want to spray now, or do you want to
Let's
pump him
do a
down?
heads up and see what happens, and we'll go spray if we need to.
Alright. You want to come flat, Cody?
Yeah.
Are we redoing burnouts? Alright, well, let's just start in the burnout box and redo burnouts.
Alright. Whoop!
Someone turn the lights on.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the vehicles.
Getting dark in the room.
Alright, one more time. Hold up.
Oh shit.
Ooh, I skated a little bit.
And that was a good race.
Did you spray, you fucking cheater?
Yeah, I sprayed.
Oh, I thought you said heads up.
Yeah, well, it is what
I
it
mean,
is.
I beat you all motor, dog.
I was also spinning like crazy.
Yeah, I skated a little bit. I didn't lift though. I was like, I think it'll come back.
Yeah, he was from all side to side.
Because I have less gas, bro. Weight reduction.
You have a full tank.
Yeah, there you go. That's like 40 pounds right there.
Here, have Cody get in your car real quick.
I think he might be a little bit more than 40 pounds.
So, an extra person actually does
Slow you down, yeah.
pull you down.
Yes.
100%. I noticed that shit way back when in GTA. I was like, you put 4 people in a slow car and it's just even slower. You're like, dude.
Alright, hop in, Cody.
Hop in his car, not mine.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna burn your legs over there, dude. I think this thing's got two seats.
Yeah.
You got a harness?
Nope. I got a seatbelt.
It'll be alright.
Yeah. It's all good, dude. You don't need a harness. I'm just, just don't crash.
Yeah, just don't crash.
I also haven't messed with this suspension at all.
Yeah, I mean, I did literally a 5-minute tune on mine, so. Or not even that. Alright, how do you want to call it since our flagger's no longer here?
I'll
Just
count it down.
ready.
Ready?
Go.
I can see you skating.
Jesus, dude.
Oh.
That was half a car on my screen.
Oh, dude. For me, it looked like we were like right next to each other. It was kind of hard to tell if I got him by a bumper or he got me by a bumper.
Yeah, no, it was literally.
You had me by a
fender.
fender.
It was a
Okay.
fender. That was perfect.
You wanna get some big tire cars out?
Ooh, sure. Tell me I'm not crazy and the back wheels on this don't look like old Stratum wheels. Like, every time I see the wheel and I see, like, the round body, I'm like, why the fuck am I in a 90 Stratum?
Did G and Q ever join up?
They were last I...
They
think-
went to a different channel because we're doing the video.
Yeah, I think or he's just showing him around. Your car's still spraying.
Yeah, that's a thing with the NOS. It does that still.
Ooh, you got them
Oh,
side to
yeah.
side, boy.
This is the broken one.
Yeah, they're both the Mosleys, just helping each other. I guess they're just looking at your cars and Mosleys and.
Hmm. All right. I'm gonna be honest. The only car that I tuned that was big tire is the Baby Daddy Camaro, and that's no longer here. So we're gonna do it live.